Hey, it's a CaliGriot tonight. I want to talk to you about a very important issue that I just discovered. I'm a grizzly. That means I follow true crime with Grizzly K on her channel, Grizzly True Crime. I got involved with her channels, and sometimes she has DUTYRON. He's a former NYPD officer, and he comes on and gives his expert advice. Well, he did that, and he brought on, her name is Babara Butcher. Cool name for a coroner, right? Wow. So Babara Butcher is being interviewed, and she was asked a question: how do you become a coroner? What's the qualifications? My dog just came in. You could hear him licking their water. What's the qualifications for becoming a coroner? You must have to have a medical degree, right? No. You must have to have some training, right? More than a high school education. Well, can't you go into the sheriff's department with just a high school education and get a job? Well, guess what? A sheriff can be the coroner. So this is critical to understand how the coroner's department and law enforcement and the prosecutor and the DA and all those people are linked together, because it takes good forensics to get cases and to decide whether or not, well, first of all, the manner of death. What manner did a person die from, right? And then the cause of death. Those are two different things. Two totally different things. I want you to really pay attention. Share this video. Get this to as many people as you can. County to county, it matters. You know I got it for you. This is DUTYRON on YouTube, his channel. Giving him all the credit because they did an excellent job. But Babara Butcher, I love her because she just really gets into it, all right? Let me stop talking and let's get down to the meat and the potatoes, because you know I got it all queued up. And again, this is DUTYRON. It's a Vicky White case. That's how you find it. And it just streamed today.
This country is incredibly mixed up when it comes to the coroner and medical examiner system. Our entire death investigation system in this country is fractured. So in every state, each county will determine if they're going to have a medical examiner, that's a physician who's trained as a forensic pathologist, or a coroner, which could be an elected person with a high school diploma in some jurisdictions like upstate New York, or in Los Angeles, the coroner is actually a physician, a forensic pathologist. It's different everywhere. The standards don't exist. There are suggested standards, but are there protocols and standards that must be followed state to state? No. And that's why we have a very messed up system.
Yes, and in some cases, in some counties, the elected sheriff is the coroner as well.
That's right.
Yeah, so
how does that interfere with the job of a coroner? You have to kind of, with maybe sometimes help, as you said, Barbara, from forensic anthropologists to odontologists. But how does that hinder a proper job function if you do not have any medical background and you're conducting an autopsy to see what happened to potential victims? Barbara, I'm concerned with that.
Yeah, it is of concern. There's a case out of the Midwest where a woman had a small child who turned blue. And the local coroner said, well, she must have poisoned him. And she was convicted, and she got out of jail eventually, out of prison, and then she had another baby, and that baby turned blue. And once again, they went after that woman and said she must be poisoning her children. Well, it turned out they both had a rare genetic disorder. What is it called? Methemochromosoma, whatever. So it took a physician, a forensic pathologist, to figure that out. Many coroners come from law enforcement, which is good, but that's only half the investigation when it comes to death. It's really, I think, important to have at least some medical training, even if it's a coroner who comes from a law enforcement background as a detective and then takes courses, lots of courses. And there are many good ones across the country. Ed does a lot of teaching in these. And those courses can teach them the medical effects of disease, of wounds, and wound interpretation. That helps so much in determining cause and manner of death and gets justice done.
All righty there. Okay. Now, that's the main thing I wanted to get that I thought we really needed to be educated on is the coroner. The coroner. Now, I'll follow up maybe with this later. But how many times have we found black men hung from trees and then the sheriff says nothing to see here? Well, maybe he was the coroner as well. If that's the case, do we need to change some things in our country? Because I had no idea that the system was as broken as we hear on DUTYRON tonight with Babara Butcher. It's the CaliGriot. Come back and let's find something else to talk about to get a little more knowledge so we can get a little more justice in America.